All right, welcome to the third video of our Twitch ad game. If you haven't been following and this is the first video you're viewing, you really need to go watch the first video and the second video. Now, in this one, we are going to go over the automation. This is everything that is going to complete this to make sure that once you start streaming, it will run automatically and you won't have to worry. All your ads will be taken care of and your chat will stay engaged for every ad game. And now you have a completely new way to make sure everybody stays with you through ads. So if you're now happy with how it looks and it's triggering, now we need to set up all the automation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to settings, and then we're going to choose timed actions, and we're going to start setting these up. The first one we're going to set up, we're going to call this countdown to ads. Now, this is where I would put 1,620 seconds for 25 minutes. And the reason I'm doing 25 minutes is so I can have a 5-minute warning, and then I will additionally have a 30-second warning. We really don't need this enabled right now, so I'll just turn it off. So the countdown to ads will trigger the 5-minute warning. Then we're going to have a trigger for a 30-second warning. So this will be our 30-second warning, and that is going to occur 270 seconds, and we're going to disable. After our 30-second warning, we are going to add game start, in which after that 30-second warning, in 30 seconds, the ad game is going to start. Disable, and we don't need any of these to repeat. Now we're going to add another timer. This is while the timer is going on screen and the ads are playing and everybody's trying to guess stuff. This is the time to end game. And in here, we have 1 minute, 30 seconds of ads, 90 seconds of ads. We're going to put that, disable both these up top because we never need these to repeat because our repeating is going to come into the actions. And then we hit OK. Now we have these 4 timers. So our 25 minutes till we get a warning, our 4.5 minutes till we've got a 30-second warning till it starts. Then after 30 seconds, it's going to start. Then during 90 seconds, this timer will go off and then we'll trigger the end of the game. Does this make sense so far? I hope so. Because now we're going to go back to the actions. So under our run ad, we don't have a trigger yet. We need to add one. So we are going to go to core timed actions. Then we're going to select our ad game start. This is that 30 seconds after our 30-second warning. We hit that and voila. Now this will go off anytime this time trigger will go off. Additionally, with end game, we need to have the trigger here. So we do the same thing, go to core, timed actions, time to game end, and hit OK. So now we have that one as well. Now that we have these timers in here, we need to add some things to the actions. So where we had this delay at the end of end game, we are now going to add 4 timers, set timer state. Time to end game now gets disabled. Again, we need to set up another one where we go down to timers, set timer state, and we enable the countdown to ads. So once the game's complete, it's going to restart our counter for restarting the whole process again. Now, when we go to our run ads, we need to come over here, and then right here where I had this comment of disable the Streamer.bot timers, this one we're going to do again. Core, timers, set timer state. And we're going to do the ad game start needs to be disabled because it's already triggered. We don't need it to trigger again. Now, here we have to do our game run timer. So we go again, core, timers, set timer state. This is now where we're going to do the time to end game, and this gets enabled. So this way, what happens is the check chat comes on and the timer then for the game to end goes forward. Now, you don't have to put it here. You can bring it down with with this timer as well. It doesn't matter exactly where you put this, but just make sure that it's there. And also for a double check, because I'm a cautious guy, I'm going to duplicate this sub action, and I'm going to make sure that if I have any of these other ones active, that I also shut them off. So the 30-second warning, I'm going to make sure just to double check is shut off, as well as my countdown to ads. Now, I just add this as a safety precaution in case maybe it doesn't trigger prior when I set up the other actions. It's just my fallback. So let me show you how I set up the warnings, as well as a way to set up a reset the timer for 5 minutes, so that way if I need to do a delay, I can. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is add another action. 5-minute warning. Again, our group is the ad manager, goes through the advertisement queue. On our trigger, we can do core timed actions, and this is triggered by our countdown to ads. So as soon as this timer ends, it will trigger our 5-minute warning. Now, in here is basically however you want to set up your sub actions for your 5-minute warning. So on my specific one, I have it where I have my timer that is the browser source that I'm using. It will pop up or it will turn on. I'll give it a couple seconds because the browser source takes a couple seconds to refresh. Then the visibility state will pop up. This way it turns everything on, including the frame, and it turns on and makes sure the timer is running. And then I have a filter that brings it up. Now these are the important ones that we're going to have to add. We're going to add our timer, set timer state, and we need to enable the 30-second warning. Again, you can put this part in kind of anywhere. And just to show you a comparison, this is what we're working with, and this is how I have mine set up. So I have this kind of in the middle. We're also going to be setting up an action called the check admin reset. This is going to check the chat messages for when your mods or yourself enable the delay. But essentially anything else you want to do visually, you can just set up as you want. But the important thing is we're going to have this timer, and then we're going to have where we turn on where our mods can check. So that's our 5-minute warning. Next, we need to add the 30-second warning. And again, same stuff. Up on the triggers for our 30-second warning, we do core, timed actions. This is our 30-second warning. All right, in the sub actions, we do need to go to the core, timer, set timer state, and we need to turn on the ad game start. We need to make sure that we're ready to go. This way, once this 30 seconds is up, we're going to trigger our game. Additionally, you can put whatever other visual stuff you want in here. Like this is where I added Felix to pop up and say you have 30 seconds to go. You can add sounds however you want. One thing I also like to do is send a message to the channel. And so for when I send a message to the channel with 30 seconds before it starts, I like to tell them what's going on. When we run ads on our channel, we have a game for you to play, and just letting them know, what's about to happen. This way, if they're new and they haven't experienced this yet, they know what they're in for. And from there, we have it to then run the ad game. Then this will trigger. And we have made sure that all those timers get turned off if you didn't add them. All right, we have one final action we need to put together. Let's add. We're going to call this mod check, or you can just call it admin check, whatever you want. And ad manager, advertisement. Up here on the triggers, we're going to go to Twitch, chat message. So yes, it'll read every chat message. Next, we're going to do Twitch user, get info user from target, set it to user. Now we need to add some logic. Core, logic, if else. So we need to add target is moderator. That is the variable that's going to get pulled. It needs to equal true. We do nothing and continue. Otherwise, do nothing and break. This way, if it's one of your moderators, it will keep going. If it is not a moderator, it's just going to ignore everything. Next, another if else statement. So now we have if the message equals delay, do nothing and continue. Otherwise, do nothing and break. Then I add just a small delay just for processing, because sometimes I've had to add that. So what we're going to have happen is we're going to have to make sure that the timers get reset. So set timer state, we'll need to make sure that the 30-second warning gets disabled. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to make sure that the ad game start gets disabled. Then in here, we need to add the timer that shows when our ads are going to start playing. We need to reset that. I would go down to sources and set my source visibility state. I'm going to choose my browser source that the ad timer runs through. Make sure it's hidden. We're going to give it a delay of a second. Duplicate that so we can then change it from hidden to visible. That way, we've hidden the timer to basically do a refresh on it. Then we need to go to our timers, set timer state. Our 30-second warning gets re-enabled, and then that's it. That should take care of everything in case we need to do a delay. Now, if you have anything else like sounds or visuals or anything you want to add, you just add them in here. Okay, so now that we have mod check, we need to go ahead and just do disabled unless you're testing. But what we're going to be doing, since this mod check is there, we need to make sure that it actually turns on and turns off when we need it to. So first off, on the 5-minute warning, we're going to come over here and we're going to do core action, set action state. And then we're going to click the mod check and we're going to make sure it enables. So once the 5-minute warning kicks off, you're gonna go ahead and give your mods the ability to start hitting that delay. So this will then turn on this action and check all the actions for your mods. And if they say delay, then it will go ahead and proceed with delay. Now, if you want to be super cautious, you can also add that into your 30-second warning, but that is not necessary because it will already be active. However, in our when we run our ad, we no longer want the delay to happen. So that's why we have the check admin reset message. Here we're going to right click core actions, set action state. And here we're going to have our mod check, but this time we're going to turn it off. So now we have where once we start this process, our mods can't do anything. Our mods can no longer delay, and neither can you.
Point of no return.
You are 100% locked in to running this game. And that is as briefly as I could do it. There are a couple additional things you can add to further automate this, such as this doesn't start up until you start streaming, and then when you are done streaming, it shuts everything off. That way, you don't have to worry about having to reset everything every time you come back in. Otherwise, what you would have to do is be going into the settings and enabling and disabling manually the timers to make sure everything's activating the right way. So what I typically do is when I start my stream, because nobody's gonna be there right off the bat, usually, I run a 3-minute ad. And I have this automated to, as soon as I start streaming, the 3 minutes of ads kick off because I take about 3 minutes to really get everything going. And that way, that gives me 1 hour of my pre-rolls disabled. That gives me the chance then to ensure anytime we hit delay, we have plenty of time to ensure that if we hit the delay, we still have some pre-roll disabled time built up and stored. This makes it much easier for keeping the pre-rolls off while also making sure you can keep everybody engaged. So to automate this part, we add 2 more actions. So we're going to add this action, call it stream start. Again, same grouping, same queue. Up in the triggers, you're going to come down to OBS and you're going to do OBS stream started. Now, if you have multiple instances, you would be choosing the one you want to use, or you can do any. The problem with using any is that it can potentially double trigger things. So make sure you're just choosing a single instance. So we've got that. And all we have to do is, because it takes a couple seconds for your stream to load up and actually make it to Twitch, and Twitch realizes you're streaming. Now I add this delay for 10 seconds. 10 seconds I found is plenty of time for Twitch to recognize that I am streaming, actually start the stream. Then I come to Twitch, ads, run commercial. And I set it for 180 seconds, a 3-minute ad, to give me a full hour of disabled pre-rolls. Then I do another delay. So now, since the delay is run in milliseconds, this is gonna be real fun. 180,000 milliseconds. I know, sounds crazy. But that gives you the full 3 minutes of ads as a delay. Then we do core, timer, set timer state, and we enable our countdown to ads. Now, as soon as we start streaming, we run a 3-minute commercial, waiting for people to show up and filter in. Once the commercial is over, we enable our countdown to ads, so our ad game and ads will trigger in 30 minutes. Additionally, I set up one for ending the stream. So we're going to do add, stream end, same group, same queue. And here we go to OBS. Streaming stopped. OBS streaming stopped. Again, choose the same instance. Make sure that you're not, winding up, possibly doubling this up. And what I set then is all the timer states are going to get disabled. So I do one, duplicate, double click, next one, disabled. Okay, so now all the timers are set. The next thing to make sure of is that the timer, that if it would be up, that you had less than 5 minutes to go. I'm going to come down to my OBS sources. We're going to set the visibility state. I'm going to come down to my browser source that has my ad timer, or whichever one, and we're going to make sure it hides. This way it is turned off and ready to go for when we start up. Additionally, if you have something like I do where you have to hide where it is, you can, whether it be the source visibility state, or in my case, it would be the scene filter state. I would just make sure that my timer goes down and is put away. If you want to make sure your chat checks are turned off, you would do core actions, set action state, check actions, disabled, and we'll duplicate, edit, do our mod check, and make sure that's disabled. Now everything that would be associated with it is turned off. And that should be the full setup on the Twitch ad game without you having to code. You may not had to have coded, but you did have to put together a lot of different things. Now, if this is giving you any trouble whatsoever and you are having issues, please make sure either comment down below. Let me know what's going on so that way I can talk you through like maybe what the issue might be. Or if you want a more direct approach, make sure you're coming into the Discord server. We have a dedicated section to Streamer.bot, OBS, and really anything streaming related in general. We have that set up to take care of anybody who might need help. We love to help out others and help you reach the full creative potential that you have. I know this was a bit of a lengthy tutorial. I know there was a lot of information in it, but I hope that this gives you not only something to help you manage Twitch ads and keep your viewers engaged, but also helped you understand how to start setting things up in Streamer.bot, giving you that idea that you don't have to be a programmer to use Streamer.bot. You just have to think very logically, and you also have to do a lot of trial and error, like I did, to make this work. This is just scratching the surface on what you can do with Streamer.bot without coding. Maybe someday I'll actually release a video showing you how I set up an entire achievement system. All right, that's it for me for now. This was a long one for me. It took a long time to record, and I bet it's going to take an even longer time to edit this one. So with that, much love to you guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Have a good time setting this up.